This morning, I woke up to threats from MAGA influencers on the internet calling on the Attorney General of the United States to prosecute me. Why? Because I shared a story on my TikTok the other day of upcoming ICE raids in Washington, D.C., and they believe that me sharing a story about upcoming ICE raids is equivalent to obstructing ongoing investigations. Folks, I want to say first thank you to all of you who have shown tremendous support today and just throughout this entire journey. I want to tell you, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not backing down. I will continue to hold truth to power because right now, this moment demands it. And no matter what threats I face, know that I'm going to stick around. I'm not going anywhere. So, to folks who want to support my work, please consider becoming a paid subscriber to my Substack today by clicking the button below or sending a one time donation to support my work via Venmo to Aaron Parnas. Your support is tremendous. I'm not backed by corporate sponsors, only by you. So, thank you so much. With that, let's get into the news. Today, MAGA Republicans on the internet aren't just attacking me, they're freaking out over the election of the new Pope, Pope Leo, who is the first Pope to be from America. He was selected after a multi vote process within the conclave. And today, on the internet, MAGA Republicans are accusing the Pope of being anti Trump and anti Vance after several tweets criticizing both Trump and Vance appeared on his Twitter account. They're calling him a quote, woke Marxist Pope, accusing him of pushing a left wing agenda. We'll see how the Pope governs in this new role, but it is clear that he has already made enemies, and he has not been on the job for more than a few hours. The newly elected Pope is being seen as progressive on several social issues. He has previously shown support for marginalized communities, shared a post advocating for gun control, and a lot of folks have made him equivalent to that of Pope Francis, who has stuck up for migrants and stuck up for essentially marginalized communities across the world. So we'll see how he governs. But right now, MAGA Republicans are extremely unhappy with him. But outside of the Pope news, we have some other important news today. Today, Donald Trump announced a trade agreement with the United Kingdom, and Detroit automakers are speaking out against it, warning that it could hurt American auto industry. They argue that the deal may give British car makers an unfair edge by easing access to the US market without equal benefits for American exports. The industry is fearful that this imbalance could threaten US jobs and production. Today, a new lawsuit was filed in Wisconsin aiming to overturn the state's concurrent congressional maps, calling them unfair and politically biased. The plaintiffs are asking the state's left leaning Supreme Court to draw the district lines ahead of the upcoming 2026 midterm elections. Depending on the results of this case, it could theoretically impact not just the districts in Wisconsin, but who controls the House of Representatives, because right now, Republicans only have a small majority. Today, Donald Trump announced that he will be withdrawing Ed Martin as his pick for DC U.S. Attorney following pushback from Senate Republicans. Martin was known for defending January 6th rioters, while a defense attorney faced strong opposition that led to a GOP defection, which included North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis. And as a result, now, according to reports, Trump is seriously considering appointing Fox News host and former prosecutor Jeanine Pirro as the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. Folks, this pick would raise significant eyebrows because Pirro has been a Fox News host for several years now, has not been practicing law, and has very close ties to the president. And right now, the U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia should not be someone who has close ties and would act as essentially the president's own attorneys. JD Vance stated that the Pakistan India conflict is, quote, fundamentally none of our business and unrelated to America's ability to influence it. Donald Trump is calling for a 30-day ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, warning that any side that violates this truce could face U.S. sanctions. We'll see if either party or both follow Trump's warning. The New York Post is reporting that the United States is weighing a plan to potentially slash tariffs on Chinese goods, potentially dropping them from 145% as low as 50% starting next week. No formal decision has been made, so stay tuned for that. The acting FEMA administrator, Cameron Hamilton, was abruptly dismissed today, just one day after publicly opposing the Trump administration's proposal to dismantle FEMA. It's clear that if you speak out against this administration, you will face termination. A federal court has ruled that Alabama's 2023 congressional map intentionally diluted the voting power of Black residents, violating both the Voting Rights Act and the 14th Amendment. Orlando City Commissioner Tony Ortiz has announced that he will be leaving the Republican Party and will register as a Democrat, citing growing disagreements with GOP stances. He specifically pointed to issues like immigration, book bans in schools, and efforts to dismantle DEI policies as a result of the shift. Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut is introducing the Meme Act, which is a bill aimed at banning sitting presidents from profiting off of digital assets like meme coins. The legislation comes in response to Donald Trump's recent foray into the meme coin industry, even hosting a top event for investors for his meme coin, which Murphy slammed as, quote, the single most corrupt act ever committed by a president. The Phoenix Zoo is mourning today as it announced the passing of Indu, a 59-year-old Asian elephant who had been part of the zoo family since 1998. She was cherished by staff and visitors alike for over 2 decades. And according to an internal memo obtained by Reuters, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered the Pentagon to begin discharging transgender service members from the force, despite the fact that there is ongoing litigation over whether or not the military can do that in the first place. Folks, that's all the news tonight. Maybe I'll have more this evening. If not, I'll see you in the morning with another morning update. Thank you again for your support. Click the button below, subscribe today, or support my work by sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas, and I'll see you in the morning.